If I were a rat or snake living somewhere in South Africa, I would stay away from shallow ponds and puddles, where I might encounter something truly monstrous. Hello everyone, the African bullfrog, also known as the African bullfrog, is one of the largest frogs in the world, and with their sharp teeth, ferocious appetite and thick personality, it's easy to understand why even humans should avoid getting involved with these amphibians. Welcome to the Global Feels channel, so let's get to know this creature. The male African bullfrog can grow to about 25 centimeters, which is a pretty big size. It's more of an aggressive piece of meat that weighs 1.5 kilograms and constantly needs food than a frog. Females are only half the size of males, but have a very voracious appetite and will grab anything they can fit into their mouths. Even the digital graphic ants running on the screen of a smartphone are a perfect warm-up for the African bullfrog, which is full of expectations to swallow the ants into its stomach. It is best not to disturb him at this time, otherwise you will experience the ferocious power of his powerful jaws. Wild African bullfrogs bury themselves in the ground for months, waiting for the rain to come. When the rain finally falls from the sky, forming puddles on the ground and streams begin to flow, these giant frogs will come to the ground to find something to eat. African bullfrogs have a very long lifespan and can survive for about 20 years in the wild. If kept in captivity, they can survive more than twice as long, so they will eat a wide variety of foods in their lifetime. This monster preys on a wide range of prey, from insects to rodents, birds, and snakes. The larger the prey, the better. If you encounter a large worm, although it can temporarily calm your hunger, you will soon need to find something else to eat, which is a bit of a waste of time for the fat African bullfrog. Spiders swimming in the water are a good snack, and spiders coming to this area of water is simply a way to kill themselves. Centipedes may also regret not staying away from the bullfrog's foraging routes. This bullfrog is like a hungry gourmet, swallowing the centipede like a chip without ketchup. When the sticky tongue touches the prey, it's time to eat, and their behavior at the table is impressive. If the prey can't get into the mouth, the African bullfrog will bite the prey and then collect the remaining debris with its hands. Food is precious, and not even a small piece can be wasted. This amphibian has a mouth with protrusions that look like teeth. This structure can not only bite long prey, but also be used to fix large prey. It's very useful. If it were me, I would never stick my fingers into that terrifying mouth. The African bullfrog's strong legs are also a useful weapon, allowing it to jump a distance 10 times longer than its body. Even jumping from a standing position to 2 meters away is a feat for humans. But for the African bullfrog, this record-breaking jumping ability helps them quickly obtain delicious food and return to the water immediately, which is very efficient. Wild birds and animals are also good. The only problem is that this gourmet bullfrog doesn't like big wings. But who on earth can eat such things? If a human sees a scorpion, they would immediately want to avoid it. But for the African bullfrog, scorpions are a crunchy snack, and even if the arthropod is a bit poisonous, it won't ruin the whole meal. Perhaps for bullfrogs, toxicity is like a pungent seasoning that makes them unable to stop eating. This mind-digger and nimble rodent relies on its lightning-fast leaping ability to catch such prey. Snakes are also a particular delicacy for African bullfrogs. When the bullfrog spots its prey from a long distance, it crawls to the point where it took off and uses its powerful muscle springs to pounce straight at the snake without worrying about being bitten by the prey's fangs, which its thick skin can protect it from. Although the bite doesn't feel good, there is no reason to let go of such a large piece of meat. It would be too wasteful. It is said that a greedy bullfrog at the South African National Zoo in Pretoria easily devoured 17 young venomous cobras. This frog also eats its own skin. Once the bullfrog grows a little bigger, the skin on its back will start to break, and then it will be freed from this old clothes. To ensure that nothing precious is wasted, they will hold a so-called party to eat the skin that belonged to them not long ago. Even though this is a logical behavior, it is hardly appetizing. The male bullfrog's strong jaws are also useful when searching for females. When the males gather in the pond, they start fighting in the center, with the strongest bullfrog in the middle, which is a surefire way to attract females and leave seeds. All males know the rules of the game and make a roaring sound very similar to that of a bull, which is the origin of the species name, the bullfrog. After a few moments of silent bullish roaring, the most important thing begins, which is a fierce battle. Then comes the real bullfrog battle. At the beginning of the battle, the males will show who is the biggest or who can get bigger by swelling up. But this is just a warm-up before the game, which will be followed by a series of dazzling jumps, and you can see fierce competition and impressive feats. Seeing this scene, even Jackie Chan will stand aside silently and envy them. Sometimes the strongest males involved in the battle will engage in sumo wrestling to see who can drive the opponent out of the arena. The remaining bullfrogs can only watch with envy and admiration the wonderful hand-to-hand fight between the two horizontal bars. The one who wins this battle will get the most important thing, that is, a beautiful female bullfrog. The female will dive into the water and swim towards the best male while avoiding other males. On the other hand, the defeated bullfrogs have no other choice but to wait for the next opportunity. The vivid but short-lived love experience of the African bullfrog will cause the female to lay 4,000 eggs in the diving pool, which is a very high yield. After this stage, the role of the female in the survival of the species is over, but the male still faces severe challenges. The male stays in the puddle and keeps a close watch on him, so that the tadpoles that hatch from the eggs in 2 days will not be eaten by others. It is wise not to approach the puddle at this time. The thick-skinned African bullfrog does not consider who is standing in front of him. He will attack anyone who threatens the peace of his children, whether it is a human or a lion. Sometimes, however, the males will eat some of the tadpoles, and while they may not like to do so, they are very loving in other situations. It is important for the father to keep an eye on what is happening to his children, because this is hot Africa and the sun is beating down hard. If the water in the puddle evaporates, all the efforts will be in vain. At first, the alkaline pond is a good barrier for the tadpoles from predators, and it can be likened to a maternity hospital. But then, the male bullfrog quickly digs a trench to the larger pond and releases the young tadpoles into a comfortable habitat. He digs the trench with his powerful front legs, which looks like a bulldozer, and once you see this, you should understand why they are sometimes called diggers. After a while, this major project is finally completed and water begins to flow into the pond. Once the work is done and all the tadpoles have been transferred to the larger body of water, the male will stay to protect the children from predators. His enemies include young frogs of his own species, a group of creatures that don't mind the company of their own kind. About 18 days after the eggs are laid, the tiny tadpoles grow up and become bullfrogs. After a while, they begin to roar like a bull in their environment, just like their father did before, and overwhelm other creatures with their aggression. When the surrounding puddles dry up, bullfrogs bury themselves in the ground and sleep, waiting out the hot season in a cocoon of mucous membranes that prevents water from evaporating. These frogs sleep for 10 months of the year, waiting for the moment to climb back to the surface. Do what you like to do, which is to look for absent-minded prey, whose strong jaws may be waiting for a piece of delicious fresh meat. If you like the content of today's video, be sure to remember to secretly like and share it on social networking sites with your relatives and friends. We love it from the bottom of our hearts. Thank you for your support of this channel. It's time to say goodbye for the time being. Let's look forward to the next video together. Goodbye.